feel.
It's a rear feel. Whoa. That becomes oddly sexual. If you change a real fear into a rear feel. Wow. We found something out today. And we're back. Welcome to this, or we figured it out.
Welcome back to Mystery Drunk Gamer. Where the mystery, how about, is which one of us is drunk?
Could it be me? The one who definitely sounds drunk.
Is it the guy who's doing a shitty job at acting? It was me. I'm drunk, but pretending about it the whole time. Nothing's real. Yay!
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
I mean, if you think about it long enough, nothing really is real. I mean,
All your memories
what
are fake.
is real, after all?
Um,
Other than that time you took a lot of DMT. That was definitely real.
I don't know what that is. Please explain what that is.
DMT is a hallucinogen, much like LSD, but much more powerful. It's one of the few drugs where you take it and you promptly forget that you took a drug. That's how powerful it is.
Is that the shit that releases when you die?
Yeah, that's the stuff in your brain that your brain gets flooded with that chemical, DMT, when you die.
Yep.
So basically, when you die, you trip balls for at least some amount of time.
Depending on how you died.
Well, the thing about DMT is it slows down your perception of time by a lot.
Getting into the terrifying territory.
Yeah, well,
we should put a warning.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
Okay, warning. If you don't want to know about real shit, turn back now.
Turn back to SpongeBob.
You don't want to know what happens when you die.
SpongeBob might have an episode about this, though.
Isn't SpongeBob just a big DMT trip?
I would imagine that.
It
the
seems
creator
to be the
died,
case.
and while he was dying, he created SpongeBob. That's what you were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, well.
Well,
Now that-
SpongeBob is his hallucination as he's dying.
Listen. Here's how the internet works. If you say something on the internet, it's true. It's rewritten in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least true for the 5 minutes before somebody corrects you.
Correct. That's what I'm getting at. So everything, so it goes back to or everybody's original question is, what's real? This is a series of people fucking with each other and also taking drugs.
I gotta say, this conversation is pretty real right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting the feels.
Getting the vibe of reality.
Oh, I think we did it.
Yep.
And I just put this ball. Okay, fucking asshole. Put this ball on this pedestal,
Yep, I've been there.
and then
Except it wasn't much of a ball as much as was a lady that I liked.
you put your ball on a lady.
No, I put my feelings on a pedestal and I couldn't reach it.
Oh wait,
Not quite.
I didn't do something correctly.
You gotta
Oh, I gotta put this
put
one
the ball. It's symmetry.
over here.
Oh, there's countless stories of that.
Of times when you
you
put too many balls on someone.
When I put too many balls about carrying. I don't fuck. Where are we go? What's the analogy?
Where's the analogy here?
I think we should change topics. How about the date? The date.
I can't figure it out. Do you think the key-shaped thing should go in the keyhole-shaped thing? Or, hear me out,
anywhere
thing?
else. It could go anywhere, or it could go here. Those are my options. Not to date the episode, but it's the year anniversary of when my lung collapsed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when we were recording
I guess
this.
we should talk about that.
That's
huh?
a story.
That's a big moment.
Yeah,
for all of us.
My lung collapsed. Okay, next story.
Whoa, you took me on a ride.
It was a year ago. I woke up in the middle of the night and I coughed and my lung collapsed. So I decided, I didn't want to wake up my roommate, which is Dan. And I was like, I should let him sleep. Because at the time, I thought I was just having an asthma attack. I was just like, I'm just breathing. I'm shitty at breathing. No use in waking up my roommate for being shitty at something. So I called my parents because I was just like, they should know what's going on in my life, right? So it's 3 a.m. and I'm like, hey, you need to take me to the ER, which stands for the emergency room.
Thank you.
So I'm waiting for them to show up, and I'm like, you know what? Kind of feel like I'm about to die. I think now's the most appropriate time to call 911. I had never called 911 before. I was really excited. I was like, the thing that because like when you're a kid, you're trained to like, it's only for emergencies. And then like your whole life, you wonder like, what's an emergency? Like what is, because like, at least I can speak for myself that when I was raised, I thought that when you call 911, like you better have a fucking good reason.
Yeah, like
or else,
the government logs
Yeah.
you into the database.
Yeah,
Like,
or-
he called 911 too many times. They're gonna have to put him in jail.
well, not just that, just you would get in trouble.
Yeah.
Like some serious shit if you fucking
yeah,
called
like
it for
jail
like,
trouble.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
that's what I thought too. So I was just like, my whole life, I just thought I wasn't supposed to call it ever, no matter what. But I was like, now's the time. It's one of the rare occasions where I knew I was right. I was just like, oh yeah. So I dialed the number and it was like, 911, can I take your order? And I was just like, I can't breathe. And they're like, okay, well, where do you live? And I was like, Massachusetts. And they're like, okay. And they hang up. And I'm like, did they find me? What is that all I had to do? And then the phone rings again and it says, Massachusetts 911, how can I take your order? And I was just like, yeah, I can't breathe. And they're like, okay, where do you live? And I was like, Massachusetts. She's like, yep, I got that information, but what's your address? And I was like, 4. And she's like, I'm going to need more than just 4. And I was like,
Shut
"Oh,
up.
fuck."
You're like, shut up. I'm trying
trying to talk. So I gave all the information and they said, okay, have a nice day. And then they hung up and I was just sitting there.
You just had to trust.
I just had to
that it was
trust.
gonna happen.
And in a few minutes, a fire truck pulled up into our development, and I was confused
Naturally.
because I was like, "Oh shit, I was wrong after all." And the fire truck just kind of did a circle around our development. And I was like, "Must not be for me," because I ordered an ambulance with a side of fries, and I just was like, yeah, it's got to be for me. So when they did a loop around, I waved them over. And then they pulled up. And they're like, are you the guy? And I'm like, and then they're like, okay. And then the ambulance pulled up behind them. I'm not sure why I guess maybe they had to make sure that the reason I couldn't breathe wasn't fire related, which is
true.
fair enough.
Yeah.
But at the time I was like, I don't know what, okay. I was thinking maybe they had the jaws of life, but why don't they just give the jaws of life to the ambulance guys and just, I don't know, maybe just whatever. But anyway, I got up and I walked into the back.
Whoa, sorry,
this is
not
trippy.
to-
This is way better than the story. Anyway, this is
I'm just gonna do
neat.
this for the. Just keep going. This
Okay.
is good
I'm-
background.
okay. So I just get up and I just casually walk into the back of the ambulance, which was kind of like a bummer because I kind of wanted him to come over with the
The stretcher.
the bed or whatever, and like pick me up and put me on the bed and do the whole. But I was also really embarrassed, so I just kind of like crawled in, and the guy's like, "What hospital are we going?" And I just said like, "The hospital." And he's like, "Yup. Which one?" And I was like, I couldn't breathe. So, and then he put like
That's your job.
Yeah, he put the mask on me, and dude, it was like it felt like a 4-second car ride.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "We're here," and I was like, "Whoa!" And they pulled me out, and all the nurses were like, "Good call on calling 911." And then later, I found out what that meant was they really love firefighters. Nurses love firefighters. They're so hot and so sexy, and I'm really glad you called them.
I mean, isn't a firefighter like the all-American hero?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
So they were all like, super happy. I don't know what the good phrase is. The safe phrase. I don't want to say they were wet. So thank God I did. Or swooning. Would swooning be the?
Were they dry?
I don't know.
They were damp.
I was in a.
They were a little damp.
I was in a different world where. So the guy puts the jelly on me, and does like an ultrasound, and I'm like, oh, that's not good, because I complained of pain, and they put the jelly on my chest, and I'm like, fuck, that's usually not a good sign. And the doctor looks at the other doctor and points to the X-ray, not faced to me, by the way, and says, "What do you think of that?" And the doctor says, "That's probably the problem." And then they fucking left. They walked out of my room, and I'm like thinking, like, uh-oh.
That's not good.
There's that, obvious could think of what I was thinking. And then he comes in like 5 minutes later and is like, "So you have something called pneumothorax." And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's bad because it's got a complicated name." And he's just like, "It's a collapsed lung. What happened is you coughed, you form an air pocket between your lung cavity and your chest cavity, and they fucking collapse. Good work, buddy. It's really super fucking rare. It usually only happens to stab victims."
Whoa.
But it's a rare occasion. And because it was a rare occasion, I had nurses and doctors popping in and out, like being like, "Are you the guy that has the pneumothorax?" And I was like,
they've got like champagne. They're like, "It's a rare occasion. We got to celebrate, man."
They're like, "Whoa, I've never seen this before." And one guy's like, "My shift ends in an hour, but I'm totally hanging out." And so they did the procedure where they cut me open. They put a tube in there so like they could manually inflate my lung or drain it. I don't actually know because they put me on so many painkillers. I had no fucking idea of what was going on. Painkillers so fucking strong that I got sick. And it was just the best throw up I've ever done because it didn't hurt at all. I didn't feel it. But then they were transferring me because they were like, "Oh, you're staying here for a week." I'm like, "Oh no, that's expensive." But also I was like, "But if you keep on giving me drugs, might be all right." So they're wheeling me to my room, and I start feeling sick again. Like stuff is about to come up. So I'm like, "Get me a bucket." And the person pushing me did not speak English because I was like, "I need my bucket." And they're like, "Yes, yes." And I'm like, no. Like I tried to make the action of, bleh, like it's gonna happen. And they just kept smiling and shaking their head like, "Your room soon." And I'm like, "That's not how it works. I need the bucket. It's happening right now." And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, guess right here, right now." I should state at this point in the story, I don't have a shirt on because they're doing all the procedures on my chest.
Man.
So I just vomit just pure ginger ale because that's the only thing I've had in my stomach. It was just ginger ale, so it's less gross. So don't worry about it. But I was covered in sticky ginger ale. So they, put me in my room, and then a really, really attractive nurse comes in and's like, "How's it going, buddy?" And I'm like, because I'm on so many fucking, and then she proceeds to take a wet cloth and give me like a little bath. I'm like, she's just cleaning my entire chest of the sticky soda.
Jesus.
And I'm like, "You know what? I'm pretty sure I'm in a situation where I could have died or I might die. I don't know. All bets are off. You should just say whatever the fuck you want." So I look at her and I'm just like, this is like a weird way to start a relationship, huh? And she smiled and she started laughing, and like it was great because I was just in a rare occasion where I could just say whatever I want. And I was just like, it was like, because it was fine because, I was just started joking and she started really liking it. And she stopped by and she's like, So here's your little container for if you ever have to pee, but if you can't figure it out, just pee all over yourself and I'll clean it up.
Oh man,
I was like, okay, so our relationship is at that level. It's good to
this
know.
is progressing fast.
And she again laughed, and yeah, it was a good time.
like it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. It didn't. Her shift ended at some point when.
And so did our relationship.
Yep.
At
And,
that same moment.
I'll never forget her name though.
Piss Helga.
It was Tori.
Fuck.
I remember her name was Tori because the doctor's
We're so
name was
close.
Terry, and one of my friends pointed out, your doctor's name is Tara." Like, yeah, Territory. Look at the team. Your doctor and nurse team is Territory. And I was like,
More jokes.
and then at some point, my friends came and visited me, and at that point, fucking terrifying, scary surgeon guy came in, and he was military because he happened to say, "I'm military." And that was the first thing he said, and then he was just like, he kept looking at the clock. He kept on saying, "All right, so if this happens again, there's a 30% chance of it happening again." So, likely, because I was like, shit. So I had a 0% chance and it did happen. So a 30% chance, not sounding too good about now. And he's just like, if you're rock climbing and this happens, you could die. If you're in an airplane, you could die. If you are parachuting, die. And he just went over all these things. And I was like, okay, so do nothing forever. And then he was just a big bundle of joy. And that's how I saved Christmas. I didn't realize I had been talking this whole time, and it seems like is that is that good?
Yeah, no, it's fine. I got trapped in this tower that I can't complete yet because I need. So you see how there's this statue here.
Mm-hmm.
So
It changes time.
yeah,
saw that. That
I
was
set
cool.
it up.
It
so
interrupted
that
my story. Go ahead.
I set it up so that. Let me just fucking accelerate some shit here. Hello, please.
Oh, Seagull's here to help.
Hello, please. All right. Come on, dude. Why? Just grab it. So as you can see, when I put this shadow in here,
Oh,
it
cool.
lights up, right? But I think I need to light up that other shadow over there. Problem is, there's no time of the day where a shadow perfectly fits in there.
Oh, so you need to find another statue.
So I need to get the other statue for the other pedestal to show
okay.
up here
Okay.
into that one because this one's too big. And then that's when the bridge will happen. But the problem is now, when I go all the way back down the tower, the door is just shut. And I just can't leave.
Okay.
So I don't know if maybe I have to like activate this. And then like when that's lit up is the only time the door works. So we're about to find out. Actually,
Is that
we're
for-
about to find out on the next episode.
Of,
If I'm right, then we'll just cut to me being right, and I'll be like, "Yup, I did
I
it."
was right.
And if I was wrong, we'll just cut to me figuring it out later, and that's how it'll work. And I'm dead.
Oh, okay.
Thank you,
See you
and goodbye.
See you next time on MJG.1.
Okay.
Okay.